We beat her. That's the 3 main villains down. Unless they're not. Well, congratulations to you, proud heroes. Scum. You have won the day. I'm sure there'll be a parade. My great-grandmother always said that sarcasm is the refuge for the vulgar and witless. You have been defeated, sorceress. No, never defeated. Give up the archdruid, and your end will be swift. Oh, Jamie, you really think that was it? You fought her? You think she's all there is to us? This is your last chance. Your father, my father, alive, or will... Or you will what? Be serious. I have lived for thousands of years. I have seen the Elo Sphaera that was. I have placed my will within your pathetic world. She has grown within its boundaries. Your entire combined lifetimes are like a particularly boring afternoon to me. She doesn't understand you. I do. Not that I care about you any more than she does. But in all that time, I have learned a thing or two about tactics, how to win, and how to manipulate the board, how to place simpletons like you where I want them. She's clever, tiresome but very clever. Tell me, how do you kill a god? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Oh no. Oh. That was dramatic. Oh, I don't think there's any level to play on here. I guess we're going somewhere else. Yep. They just fell into the galaxy. Alright. Oh, my head. Where? What happened? That's a bit of a head rush from getting up that fast, isn't it? She's gonna pass out. Fiona. Where's Fiona? Fiona! And we're back. Oh. Hey, it's those tiles that one type of unit's immune to, I'm guessing. The cancer. The sorceress must have returned to her domain with Fiona. The Zero Seed. We have to go after her. We can't. The Zero Seed lies outside of all other existence, beyond space and time itself. Remember that tapestry I mentioned? The Zero Seed is not part of it. I doubt even the crystallite could access it. That was really funny looking, like, oh shoot, kick. Cursed gods of the forest. Oh, is that the archdruid? Jamie, you hear that? Hey, it's the pustule that was in the background last time we were here. I was like, what's up with the weird pustule? It's coming from here somewhere. What in the name of... Sure, stand back, I've got this. Sure, go ahead. A little brute force is probably what we need right now. I mean, be a little careful with those swings. Yep, there's the archdruid. Oh my god, it's Deckard Cain. The webbed man. Tui. Thank you, friends. The archdruid. How did you know what he looked like? Oh, I forgot to check to see if what Ayane's line looked like. If she just said the archdruid or if she said it in like some other way. How did you manage to end up inside that thing? And was it as disgusting as I imagined? Oh, the sorceress and her accursed spells. And no church, it was much, much worse. Yikes! She had many questions for me, mostly about the ancient Bimerians and my theories about them. I suspect she was much better informed about them than I am. I think she may really have known them. But if so, she didn't know much of their advancements, what they built, and in particular, how they built it. Quite an obsessed individual. I'm afraid I told her everything she wanted to know, give or take. She wanted to obtain the powers of... Oh, the World Stone. What a fascinating combination of minerals. Quite extraordinary. Where was I? I was interested to overhear your views on the multiverse in general, and the Zero Seed in particular. Yet I believe you were somewhat mistaken. Yeah? Oh yes. You see, the Zero Seed does indeed exist outside the interconnected ecosystem of parallel universes. From a metaphysical perspective, it is far away, isolated, but it is not inaccessible. Not that I mean to imply that accessing it would be easy, quite the contrary, I'm afraid. Reaching it would require a degree of, extraordinary recklessness, yes, indeed. But impossible? Oh no, not at all, in theory. One would have to reduce the distance between all the worlds. The space between the seeds would have to be eliminated. You mean, all the realities would no longer be separated? That sounds like a terrible idea. Well, yes, it would have consequences. But once you do so, the distance to the Zero Seed also disappears. In theory. Sorry, but you two have lost me. He means we would have to extinguish the Druidstone. What? Every thread of the tapestry runs through it. It keeps them connected but separate. If we destroy the Druidstone, those threads get all smushed together. He's saying that includes the Zero Seed. That's crazy. We went to all that trouble just to keep the Druidstone intact in the first place. And wouldn't removing all those barriers between worlds cause untold destruction? I can't even imagine it. Yes, that is correct. But there is a trick to it. Fiona's pendant. That becomes an integral part of the equation. It still holds some fragments of her mother's powers. Her mother? I thought she died when she was giving birth to Fiona. Her physical mother, yes, but the World Stone is her real mother. What? Freaky. That's why she thought she could cleanse the stone. She has a connection to it. Her physical mother was very committed to the World Stone. She was a priest of a sort. Oh, she was magnificent. You cannot imagine. I was a young man then, a young man in love. When she became pregnant with Fiona, she saw an opportunity for an act of devotion. But such things, they take a toll on a human body. She didn't survive childbirth. Fiona, of course, was strong and healthy. Well, what would you expect? I miss her every day. Well, in any case, Fiona has that pendant, a gift from her mother, a shard of the stone. It's why the sorceress is so interested in her. She needs the pendant to fully tap into the Druidstone. And it's the pendant that could give us a window of opportunity. An opportunity to save my daughter, and more. So, even if we snuff out the World Stone, the power of the pendant will still hold reality together? Correct. In a small area, for a little while. Enough time to rescue Fiona and stop the sorceress. One hopes. And as reality compresses, the resulting turmoil in space-time should allow me to open a rift in Zero Seed. Well, that's the science of it anyway. No, this is too much. It's insane. Listen, I want to get to Fiona. Believe me, I do, but I'm the warden. That means something. It has to. This goes against everything I'm supposed to be. Hell, she wanted to sacrifice herself to save the Druidstone. to destroy it instead. That'd just undermine her, wouldn't it? Not to mention that it sounds like this would end everything. What am I missing here? How is this even a plan? The cancer. Yes, it's eating everything, little by little. Not just our world, but all the others. You've seen what it's done to Elos Fiera. That's nothing. With the World Stone infected, it cannot be stopped. Fine. It'll be bad, I get it. But it has to be better than destroying everything. No. The cancer is fast, and it will only get faster as the World Stone weakens. In a year or two, natural systems will start to fail. It'll be very quick after that. Life will become fundamentally impossible. You're saying everything's already ruined. The world is ruined. All the worlds. Perhaps not. Even though the cancer has infected the World Stone, Fiona's pendant remains pure. If we can recover it, who knows? After all, the Druidstone is resilient. Do not give up on it, Jamie. I know my daughter wouldn't. Alright. Yes. Do it. Kill the Druidstone. This still seems like a ridiculous gamble, and I don't feel like they gave me a concrete explanation of how any of this is going to actually be guaranteed to work. In fact, they don't seem to know necessarily. They're just like, I don't know, maybe. This is the best they're going off of. Fuck. I'm sure that, I guess there must be no other experts in the entire world that might have a piece of insight. Yet. Here we go. Oh, thank God. I'm like, please give me my fourth party member back. She's kind of integral. She has a few really powerful spells to keep the party alive. Fiona. Thank the forest you're alive. What? What happened? My pendant, it's gone. The sorceress must have it. Bloody roots, this place, disgusting. Even the air, it's heavy with corruption. A cancer. The whole place reeks of it. I think it's worse than that. I think this place is the cancer. We have to get my pendant back. She can't have it. We have to figure out how to find her. Somehow, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Oh boy. Oh, hi, Kerrigan. Gross. Hey, there's some music. You, the demon of space and time. You ended the worlds just to get here? Arrogant fools. I know the precise location and momentum of every atom in the universe, their past and future values for any given time. The World Stone shard is in me now. You cannot defeat me. I shall devour you. And after I am finished, I shall eat what is left of the worlds. Every decaying atom, every dying particle, every subatomic morsel, every dispersing field, every reverberation, all mine to feast on. And then all that shall be left is me. I shall be everything. In that last instant of existence, I shall be God. Wow. That's... I think the evil cultist was a little different, but these two villains, the Enchantress and the Mirror of Jamie, just straight up want the end of all existence, just so they can say they were on top when it happened. Like, it's goddamn. Demon of space and time. Hey, 1 armor instead of 5, so that's nice, but 5 damage at a range of 5 is not nice. They had to 1-up last time, I guess. Oh boy. Immovable. Cannot be moved, yeah. Massive. Can move over non-massive creatures. Which is everybody besides her. Takes no damage from traps. Okay, so you can't even block her. You probably provoke some attack of opportunity from Jamie when she walks around, but she can literally walk over him. Corruption resistant. Not affected by corruption squares. Which was definitely a thing happening here, right? Yep. This used to be the sorceress, or perhaps this is what she was always like on the inside. Now merged with the Druidstone shard. She is power incarnate. Perhaps immortal. Definitely beyond reason. Oh boy. Defeat the sorceress once and for all. What do the 3 X's mean? There's 3 X's. I'm not oh, experience. Oh, I only just now figured that out, like at the end of the game. Like, the diamonds are skill points and gold is gold, but I never really put together that the blue X is experience points. A little redundant because experience points just generally happens at you, so it's easy to not notice. But it's only that I always just took it to mean like that's the objective, but now that there's 3 of them, I'm like, oh. You get a lot of experience for killing her. My objective is to defeat her. But also there's Druidstone shards everywhere. Why would I collect them? They probably do something, but like, why wouldn't I just destroy her right here and now? Just do 25 damage as fast as possible, like, or else. Okay, these guys still only do 2 damage, so Jamie largely can just aggro them up, basically. Oh boy. Alright. This is gonna be interesting. Let's do the volley, finally. There we go. I have no idea if you can kill her in a reasonable amount of time, or if she's going to, like, obliterate me. I don't know. Worst case scenario, just restart the mission, right? Maybe I'll finally lose. But I'm gonna go all in on aggression here. And hope for the best. Ooh, okay. We're halfway there-ish. She has 16 health out of 30. Good opening for salvo. Now we get a little weaker. Alright. Tell me, how do you kill a god? Please don't heal. Space distortion. It's my turn. What are you, a god? Oh boy. No. That's new. Recovers 8 health at the start of the enemy turn, leeching the forest. Are the egg sacs full of good or bad? I have no idea. Man, I didn't even get a turn. It actually just became my turn again. Druidstone shard. Collect to gain 1 action point and become charged for 3 rounds. Whoa. I might be able to do something cool. What? Mindworm larva. They tend to give people the creeps. That's the least of what they can do. I guess. I don't know if this math is gonna check out. But we'll see. Oh. I could have just walked directly into it, I guess. Hehehe. Ow! Stop it! No. You're going to live? I can't have you living. No! I have to be able to hit her with something. Damn it. I'm thinking of really stupid plans of like, can I ricochet shot to her somehow? Don't tell me, did I really get this close? Yeah, she has 6 health. I can't believe I'm short by 1. This is at what, 1, 2, 3, 4 squares now? So plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think it's gonna work that way. I don't know, we have to try. If only I hadn't moved my move already. Shit. She doesn't have phase. Because I could use pull to move Jamie closer. And I can't even, I'm not even within range for 8 wins. Shit. Most I can do is move this far. I'm like, what if I summon a dude? He won't have the kind of range I need, right? She has pretty good range, though. Yeah. I don't have a thing to bridge it to her. I just need one more point of damage, I swear to God. There's gotta be a way. There's gotta be like a clever trick I can think of. Note, there does not have to be a way. There absolutely does not have to. 2 more tiles. There's no way to move that though. I already used both movement actions. Let's rewind. One last chance to try to come up with a different plan. I'm not sure if that really amounts to much, but we'll see. So you can run to that. Which strategy do I want to go with? There's pull. There's speed boost. Hi. Hi. That'll make up the difference potentially. Yes. Haha. Defeating her with the pendant. And he also got a bonus action point so he can do extra damage here. Yeah. Alright, sure, let's do your part now. Where is Fiona? I can't see her. There she is. Hi. Kill. And just in case, let's try not to die. So Jamie has a self-heal. There we go. Now kill. Whew. I got creative there. Those are some weird actions. Eternal life. Tell me you don't just come back. All I ever wanted. You took it from me. The world stone shard in me flickers and weakens. Like countless realities, I cease to exist. After me, there is nothing. Less than nothing. A lack of everything. An absence. Now I have nothing left at all. No purpose. No other option than to cease to exist. After I am finished, what will be left? These games always gotta end with you fighting God or something, huh? It's just the RPG way. Ah, we did it. That was fun figuring out how to do it in one turn. I technically did it in one turn because they did a weird interruption thing that reshuffled us without me getting to use... I never hit end turn a single time that entire mission, which is weird to say. Fiona. Dad? Is it really you? It's me. Come here. Oh, Dad. Dad, these are my friends. This is Jamie. Jamie, this is my father, Galdaway. Oh, but you've already met. Well, either way, it's an honor. Oh, nonsense. The honor's all mine. Let me talk you into something... You let me talk you into something crazy, and you came through like a warden should. Speaking of crazy, did it all work out? Oh, we're still here, aren't we? That's always a good sign. But my pendant. You carried it just as far as you had to, Fiona. Both of your mothers would have been proud. Oh, I've really missed you, Dad. I've missed you too. By the way, the archdruid doesn't have to wear a mask. At least I don't think it's a mask. That's a giant beard, right? That just seems like a weird gap in how their whole system works. Come now, friends. I believe there's something to see. Still something to see. She's dead. She's truly dead. Yes. And with her death, the cancer will stop spreading. It's a job well done, my friends. What did it cost us, though? I mean, what we had to do to get here? Father? Oh, I think you'll find it was worth the price. Just wait. Well, at least you're all here with me. When she took me, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. I know what you mean, dear. Although I was sure I'd see you again. Exactly how much of the future do you know, archdruid? Just enough. But we are at the limits of my knowledge. Really? Oh, yes. And why not? So, you don't know what's going to happen. Not in the least. But I have hope. So I was right about that much. Where do we go from here? There's nowhere to go, dear. We're in the end. Well then. I couldn't imagine better companions for the end. Not quite how I imagined it, but I also agree. Me too. It's been hard getting here, but it's been good too. Strange. I have nothing more to say. Nothing at all. What do you think is down there? The sequel. Look, it's so beautiful. Let's go. What, are they gonna jump in? How do they survive the fall? Oh, they're climbing. Turns out they're all super good at climbing. From the shards of a stone, a new seed is born. It gives birth to another seed, and then infinite others. Endless new worlds are born. And most beautiful and wondrous creatures will walk those worlds. Hey, weird ending, huh? I kind of regret not summoning the mercenary. I wasn't in a big hurry to do so because, unfortunately, on top of having to use, I think using the harmonica uses an entire action, and my characters were busy every turn. Holy shit! It's kind of like how I often don't get around to using my regen skill or my bubbles when I want to, because it uses a whole turn, and a lot of these missions every turn matters, which is risky because that's why I'm dying too. So I think the harmonica uses an action point to summon that guy, and I didn't want to spend a whole turn on that because in particular I think he only does like 2 damage, so he couldn't even damage half these guys anyway. But it occurs to me that he might have some really cool dialogue. They might have put in some dialogue for him to say when you summon him into like nether worlds and shit, if it even works there. I don't know. Man, that is a short list of people working on this game, by the way. Unless that's just part of the credits, but that might be all of them. Hey, so I guess stuff worked out. Is this back in time or is this the future? Is this our children? Because she looks young too. Huh. That flower looks like it has gems in it. That's weird. I'm curious what this is going to be just because, well, in general, but like it seemed like everybody died except the 4 of us, the 5 of us in all of creation. So we barely saved reality at all, which is a rough ending. Ouch. Are you okay? What's your name? Jamie. You want to play? What? Childhood versions of our characters? Is it? What does that mean? Thank you for playing Druidstone, the secret of Menhir Forest. The evil's been defeated, but you may still play any uncompleted side missions, hunt for missing bonus objectives, and spend your well-earned XP and gold. The Druidstone editor and modding tools will be released fairly soon, so keep an eye out for new missions and content. If you're a mod creator, please check out the Druidstone blog for latest news about the release of the tools. Oh, that sounds neat. That's neat. More long-term support. I believe there was a level creator for both, or at least I think there was a level creator for both of the previous Grimrocks, or at least Grimrock 2. So that they seem to support that stuff a lot, which makes sense because they have a pretty modular level design in each of their games, so it kind of makes sense that they'd make one that the audience could use to extend the life of their game and all that. We'll see if I ever cover it or not, just because it's I don't know. User-made stuff can be cool, but there's just so many games to cover. But I would love to cover an expansion if the developers make one. Well, there we go. Maps all filled in. I did every mission in the game. I even got an achievement saying so a moment ago just to verify that. Not everything's 3-star, and while it could be fun to 3-star everything, you know, opportunity cost. I think I'm gonna move on and play something else next. But this was a good experience. Also, this chunk of map's very empty. I kind of wonder if they're making more. Except, how do you follow up on "We remade reality"? I'm not sure what the ending means entirely. I don't know. It could be that reality was saved and remixed versions of what happened could exist in the future, so maybe like... maybe they could make sequels to Druidstone that take place in those alternate realities, kind of like in Zelda, for example, where you kind of bring the same characters together or whatnot. I don't know. Thoughts on the game overall? This is probably one of my favorite games this year. The gameplay is great. The missions are fun. I particularly love that this developer, which I can never remember the name of for some reason, I think that they might just not have a very memorable name for whatever reason. I don't know. It's never stuck with me. Between Grimrock and these things, like in particular, I like the fact that they make RPG style games that really don't have an interest in wasting your time. Like there's not games about grinding or repetitive content or procedurally generated content or like a bunch of time-wasty stuff full of filler or whatever. Like all of their scenarios are very much the same school of what I compliment From Software for, which is the idea that every level, everything is expressing a particular idea, a particular threat, a particular thing. Like they're not going to spam you like, go kill 500 generic slimes like you do in many like JRPGs, for example. But also their approach to these games is particularly low on like grinding and stuff like that. Like there's plenty of tactical games where you just do like dozens or even hundreds of filler missions. XCOM is great, but even that one tries to randomly create a bunch of new missions just to kind of give you basically an infinite campaign if you want to keep going. And while Grimrock is what sold me on first-person dungeon crawlers, the vast majority of first-person dungeon crawlers I've played have not been similarly enjoyable. There's been a couple that feel like they're almost specifically inspired by Grimrock, and they kind of follow on some of the similar ideas. But a lot of the ones I've played, especially the ones from Japan, are just about character grinding and killing infinite, like just huge sums of generic mobs over and over again to grind your character level, and not so much about cool level design and puzzles, which is why I like Grimrock. Because Grimrock is all, like this game, like Grimrock was all about like exploring individual environments, kind of like in Dark Souls, where it's all the exploration, and there's X number of combat encounters that are largely built around creating interesting scenarios. I think of stuff like, oh yeah, there's an ogre, troll, I dropped something. There's the troll, for example, or ogre, whichever one it is in Grimrock, that's like used in a few different scenarios, and each time it's usually a different scenario. Like, oh, this one's at the end of a giant spiral hallway, so you got to try to escape its charge attack by running away from it in a straight line away from it, and at a certain speed and stuff like that, and certain traps and puzzles. Like there's just a certain design philosophy that this developer shares with From Software, where those two people will just make levels because they have an idea to express with said level, and not because they just want to create infinite levels or infinite content for the sake of it. And there's a lack of grinding and a lack of repetition that I really appreciate, because I like RPGs for a number of reasons, including like the emphasis on storytelling and world building, and also the ability to tweak and customize your characters in certain ways. But I don't like just grinding for the sake of it, or just having large amounts of content for the sake of it. Like I don't care that your game is 60 hours long, 80 hours long, 100 hours long, unless I feel like every step of the way I'm playing content that feels like it's worth my time. And that's very rarely the case. Pretty much The Witcher is one of the only mega long games I've played where I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like I'm just spinning my wheels here at all. Almost everything else has been like, this game didn't need to be this long. And this developer doesn't make games that are that length. They just make games that where they express the ideas they want to do, and the puzzles they want to do, and the levels they want to make, and then it ends, and that's great. This game in particular was neat in that there was they went with not having random effects. There's some randomization in that different people drop either action points or health, and that does affect the outcome of a level and is random, I believe. I think it's based on a seed at the beginning of the level, because you can rewind time and kill the same guy and get the same drop, for example. But I've heard that supposedly people got different drops on their different runs, so that seems to be a little random. But generally speaking, people's attacks, like I think the AI even is pretty consistent in how it behaves. But your attacks do what they say they're going to do. They don't be like, you have a 75% chance to hit, and you'll do 3 to 12 damage plus 5% chance to crit. which there's not necessarily something wrong about. There's not necessarily anything wrong with that exact idea, but when it's used in this form where you don't have the random effects, it means that you actually are solving the encounter in kind of a puzzly sort of way. Like, here's what my capabilities are, how do I make this work? As opposed to something like XCOM where you just like, you throw your guys out there and cross your fingers and you can make smart decisions, but every smart decision can fail and every dumb decision could get unexpectedly successful based on just how the dice roll. And those are both different approaches. But this has been really interesting. My biggest criticism of the entire game, there's probably two. One is just a thing about the entire all this developers' games. Their version of fantasy is super generic. This game's a little weirder than Grimrock, but a lot of their games are like, here's the spider enemy, here's the skeleton enemy, here's the zombie enemy, here's the bear, and stuff like that. Like here's the guy that's a mage with a mage robe, and so on. Their aesthetic is usually pretty standard fantasy stuff. This one has a few weird things, but even then, like, it feels so familiar. The cast of main characters are actually kind of boring from a design standpoint. Their writing was pretty good, but like these 4 character designs, there's 3 really generic white people, and then there's the Tonberry, basically. It's more or less like a spellcasting Tonberry from Final Fantasy. And my other criticism is that the story is iffy. It's kind of whatever. I appreciate the twist they threw in. I don't think that the story is bad or even necessarily features negative qualities. It's just that it isn't an especially compelling narrative. It's kind of neutral, and it's entirely elevated by its writing, because moment to moment the dialogue is just very amusing and compelling. Also, neat to have a story that's told entirely from dialogue. No exposition dumps of like lore or text crawls and stuff like that, generally speaking. It's just the characters themselves, so the game has to inherently be about them and their relationship, and that's kind of fun. And Chert's a fun character, and yeah, that's all great. So the writing is strong, it's just the story itself, like the plot, is kind of a mix of bog standard stuff with a couple of good twists that are neat, but not quite there to be all like, wow, best story of the year, or anything like that, which is one of the things you're kind of looking for when you play an RPG, whatever you want to classify these things as half the time. It's just, you're kind of just at the back of your head hoping like, oh man, is this going to be the next blit? Whatever your personal stand-in is for the best RPG stories. And this one was largely a whatever story with a few nice touches, with some pretty good characters that aren't great character designs, but they're pretty great characters moment to moment, or at least I really enjoyed the dialogue, and it kept everything brisk and well-paced and entertaining, especially while being in the confines of being a game that, genre-wise, tends to have relatively little storytelling and a lot of gameplay. You spend 90% of your time customizing your characters and doing fights, and 10% of the time listening to dialogue. It's like it's a smaller part. But like, for an example of how to do this but bad, I would look at Disgaea 5, a game I covered a few years ago, where instead of this number of missions that you see before you, there was like 140 or something stupid. I don't know, there was 80 or 100 or something. It was an incomprehensibly large number of missions spread across like 8 chapters that each had somewhere between 8 and 12 missions or whatever, and they were so paint by numbers that every mission had to have every chapter had the same number of missions, and every single mission had to open with like 10 minutes of intro dialogue and 10 minutes of outro dialogue so consistently that both just completely ran out of steam. The story would just spin its wheels, and half the cutscenes were just people repeating their character traits over and over again. Like, I am this type of character, I'm this type of character, and they pretty much just say the same dialogue every mission, and like, then nothing's happening in the story, and they're not developing as characters, so it's like, I'm losing my mind here. Meanwhile, the missions themselves were like totally interchangeable with each other. They're just random arena fights, basically, that weren't necessarily devoid of tactics and level design, but there were just a bunch of random spamming missions, and you just kept going for dozens of hours with that, and it was like, that was that's the counterpoint of like what I don't want in this genre, and this game's a good example of what I would like. It doesn't have to be no randoms. I also value XCOM's tension and dice rolling too. It's just two different approaches. But generally speaking, yeah, this is a good one, and this will be one of the ones I'm probably thinking of at the end of the year when I think of like what my favorite ones were. So I'm looking forward to more games from this developer, whether it be Grimrock 3 or Druidstone 2, or they just start doing a whole other thing again. I've learned not to doubt them, I guess. When they started making something that wasn't Grimrock, I saw screenshots of this game, and I did not think it looked good, and I was not looking forward to it very much and I was blindsided when it came out because I didn't even know that it was coming out. But then I took a closer look when it was out. I'm like, it'll probably be good, right? And I gave it a shot. The biggest point again against it was probably that I saw visuals of it, and I saw those character designs, which are kind of doofy and generic and whatever. And also I saw the screenshots of this world. I'm like, wow, a green forest with green fields. All right. Huh. Like, this game does not preview well in screenshots, which is how they were showing it in development. And I'm like, it looks like they're making an incredibly generic, not very exciting game. But I was wrong, because it's the gameplay is what turned out to be the shining star here. So yeah, sorry to see it go, but I'm sure they'll make more in the future. Just, it'll be a while, won't it? Because Grimrock 2 was a long time ago. That's a bummer. They take significantly longer than Supergiant, and Supergiant themselves take like 3 years per game. But, you know, it's worth waiting. Just another developer. It's just these three specifically. It's this developer, which I need to look up the name of because I've not remembered their name for too long, and now it's bothering me. So let's get this out of the way. They deserve recognition. Control Alt Ninja Limited. That's a terrible name. That's a terrible name. Also, I feel like that didn't used to be their name. Let's see, Legend of Grimrock, Almost Human Games. Yeah, they had a different name before. I don't know what that means. I have to look into that separately. Maybe it's just some of the people from the Almost Human, or maybe they had to like disperse that name, that company, or maybe they just renamed to a terrible name instead. I don't know. But supposedly this is the same developers. But yeah, those are basically like my three right now. I will basically play anything made by From Software, Supergiant Games, or Almost Human / Control Alt Ninja, really? Because they've never let me down so far. Even if I do have particular games that might be kind of low water marks for me, none of them have been bad, and they've all been memorable and interesting and cool things and worth the wait. So look forward to more of that. Thanks for watching like always, guys. You can check out the game yourself by buying it in the description, and I'll see you next time.